something for me, Chief? Suspect, keep your hands where I can see him and come to me or I'm going to send my dog.
Leave me alone, it's free country.
Suspect, I'm not going to tell you again. I'm going to release my dog. You will be bit.
Don't like me, I'll give him a dog on.
Police K-9, final warning, you're going to get bit. Good save. Good save, yeah. Bring him here, buddy.
All right, come on.
I think he's had it.
Out.
Good job, Chief.
No, he took me down. He's a big, powerful boy.
He's a strong dog.
I'd say so.
This is K-9 Yaga. He's one of our newest K-9s we just got a couple months ago.
Take this.
My rat terrier was saying like that with that pit
Let's see. He knows we're training in the suit.
bull.
So he's like, I know what we're doing. Oh,
Does he live with you and your family?
he does.
Okay.
He's with me pretty much all the time. I try to take him anywhere I can.
That's enough for that.
Yeah.
Situations.
I'm surprised they don't have something on the head.
Yeah, he's something on his head.
So we work on that. So it's not trying to treat people.
Shouldn't have brought the Venus squad.
You know, I like Dobermans, but they always go through your throat. I'm surprised they
I wasn't gonna let the baby decide.
Oh, yeah? Well, they got a bad reputation, but this one, he was just standing there, and you don't want to look a dog in the eyes. Like 2 does.
Yes. So he's trained in
We get about 4 in the morning, like I
So
said,
he does tracking. So we tried a couple times so far for missing people. There was an autistic kid who wandered out from the hotel. His dad woke up and find him, so we did a track for that. The other night we ended up a missing person. So if I have a place to start with, we'll take him.
So you cross-train?
Absolutely, he can do pretty much everything. Yep. Missing people, drugs, apprehension. So he can find articles like that. Like if somebody throws a gun and we're chasing him, he can go back and look for that. I haven't trained him on the scent for like the explosives or the gunpowder. He's not trained on those scents. The only scent specific he's trained on are the different drugs we're looking for.
He knows different kinds of drugs.
Absolutely. Crack cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, all the hard stuff.
Have you commissioned? What is the dog's name?
Yaga.
Yaga, is Yaga been commissioned?
Yes. Yep, he got certified a couple months ago. We've been on the road just a couple months now. Came back from Canada July 2nd. It's going to just depend on his life and, you know, his joints and how he's doing health-wise. Hopefully a nice long career. That's what we're hoping for. Nice successful one, but so far I know in all our training he's been excelling. He's been great. We've been very fortunate with people who helped us with our training since we've been back. And just those working relationships have been a huge help to us.
How old is he?
He will be 2 in January. Yep. I think so too. Like I had said. But yeah.
What does he eat?
He is on a raw diet. It's mainly due to prices and everything. I think raw chicken. So he gets about a whole chicken a day.
Oh my heavens.
Is
Is that recommended by the people that were trained?
So that's what he was raised on. It's very similar to what he was raised a lot. If you can go find
This is lean.
yeah.
I don't mind it.
But it's still is.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what he's talking about before. So he's not overweight by any means. He just keeps it big.
It worries me that he's a little confused. I worried about our chief. Chief, is the chief okay?
Now that I got that suit off, I couldn't breathe in
Yeah,
that
it's a
suit.
little tight.
Oh, I see.
I'm about 80 pounds too big for that thing.
Well, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Officer Fultz.
Thank you.
Does anybody have questions?
Yaga?
Yaga, Y-A-G-A, for Baba Yaga from John Wick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
One of my coworkers, another K-9 handler, he suggested it, and I was like, you know what? I've never met another dog named Yaga.
biggest Doberman I ever saw. He weighed 125 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And his shoulders were that wide. And he was sitting in a chair in the house. And I asked her what he was trained for. He was to sniff out drugs and alcohol. And he worked alone. And I said, he was 5 years old. She said they retired at 5 years back then. I don't know. And I said, well, what if I come home and he's sitting in my chair? She said, leave him there.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want that dog. And she had another little Doberman that was trained to find with like lost hikers that fell in the ditch, broke their leg. And he'd run up to everybody, and she was a girl, you know, and just lick you. And that's the one I took. Because she was real friendly.
I like it.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want to add that being a canine officer is a big commitment. The dogs live with them at their home. So really, the officer is working 24/7, and we appreciate all the canine officers and what they do. Because it's a huge commitment to the department, and appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Yep. Since I decided to keep him on a raw diet, I buy his raw food. People donate kibble to us. We found. So if I ever do switch into kibble, I'll have people donating it. And it actually, one of our other handlers, he had a post on Facebook that some people saw, and especially being deer hunting season, a lot of people don't take like the heart or the livers and stuff. And we've had people donating old venison, or I've had people donating some beef to me. So we are getting some help in the community, which is awesome because it's a huge help.
Is your car specially equipped for him?
Yes, so our K-9 cars have panels in it. So basically behind my driver's seat, the car I'm in right now, it's got basically a giant cage one. It's this panel. It's got a slider right to the front, so I usually keep that open when I'm working, so I can pet it.
Because he wants to watch.
Oh, absolutely. When he doesn't want to go to sleep,
Do you have a remote open for your door in case you decide to leave the vehicle to do your preliminary, whatever it is, and then he can join you if you need it? If you don't have to be the open door.
So all of our new cars have the door cough system, and yeah, we've at training. Luckily, other officers have had them, so we have been able to expose them to that and train with those in different types of scenarios. Yeah, I think that's a huge asset. I'm very grateful for it.
So with that cage right behind you, see that you should never transport prisoners?
I no longer transport them to the ground.
So somebody responds if there's a need for that.
Yeah, somebody else on my
Need,
team.
we could put him in the front seat, but that's really not.
There's no way to put a prisoner in the front seat.
No, I mean, you could secure the dog, but it's really not, it's unsafe for everybody, it's unsafe for the officers,
Oh,
it's
you
unsafe.
put the prisoner in the cage
Right.
with the dog in the front
Right.
seat.
No, prisoner safety is
Officer Fultz, I would like to pet dog. I don't want to go and approach him though.
Come say hi.
Well, that's what I wonder, he can live with your family. I mean, he's very.
He lives with him now.
He lives with me. He's fine with my taking him to my mom's. She has two older dogs. He's fine with them.
Thank you for the work you do for us.
Yes, he knows when we're working and he knows when we're not.
So each dog costs approximately $25,000 to have.
That's so perfect.
The dog is $12,500. He was actually donated to us by Baden K-9 when we got our dogs, and it was a joint between him and it was a joint effort between Baden K-9 and Lawrence Jones, who some people see on Fox News. He does that cross country with Lawrence Jones. Them both donated him. The other stuff was picked up with donations that we got. So.
Officer Fultz, did you apply to be an officer assigned to have a canine partner?
Yeah, it's always something that's been on one of my goals. I've always been a huge dog person, and I've always loved the canine world in policing. When I got to call other departments who had canines, when I didn't have one working with me, I'd be one of the officers going on the tracks with them. Our department opened up an application process. They had an interview process, and luckily I was one of the two selected this time. So I'm very grateful.
Does the academy do additional training, or do you rely on the training from where the dogs are trained?
So he was trained in all of his basic obedience and tracking. Instinctually, they know how to track it. And when we went up to get him and meet him and see if our personalities meshed, and we were a good fit, we did training up there, and it was more us learning the dog. And when we brought him back, that's when we did the drug work and all of the police-specific work that we wanted them to be certified in. And we did that here. Another agency has a K-9 Yaga who helped lead our training, and we had other instructors come in to teach us different things.
I want to bring this question in a way that is more positive. Pretend you're unconscious.
Okay.
Because we want you to retire after a long
I had
big
this
service.
question earlier today.
I understand that they're extremely protective, so they're not going to let anything near you. you must have somebody else trained who can actually approach the dog to disengage him from you to help you, right?
So I've gone over this with all the guys I work with on my crew and girls. With the other officers on my crew, we've gone over different things you can do depending on the situation. If I'm completely incapacitated and can't get to him, the things they can do so they can help get him back to his kennel or to safety, whether it's from a car crash or, worst case for me is if I get injured in the line of duty.
That's why I wanted Joan to be on the
Yeah,
call. I want you to have a full career and retire.
I'm hoping so. I want that for both of us. And then since we do train with other police departments, there's almost always other K-9 handlers out. Realistically, if I was ever involved in something serious where I am incapacitated like that, one of them's going to be on their way anyways. And they also, since they are trained as a K-9, they have some of the tools, whether it's, for some dogs we know you have to put on a bite so your bite sleeve, you take that bite to get them into the car.
Oh, interesting.
Some dogs with other departments, they said, we know if this dog is ever out and handler can't get to him, this is what we would do. And I was like, okay, that's good to know. Him, I know our other K-9 who got blue, I'm able to handle him. Because we've trained so much together and he came from the same place Yaga did. So I can handle blue, and I know a couple of our other K-9 handlers. We can all have a good enough working relationship with the dogs where even if their handler is injured or incapacitated, we are pretty confident we would be able to take
Does he ever turn off being on duty at home?
Yes.
He doesn't run to the door because there's a cat outside or
He
something?
can be a huge couch potato at home.
Oh, good.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's other people around, he's always looking and watching. Anytime we're out like this, he's like, what are we doing? Because he loves work. He loves doing his drug work. We did a demonstration for Pierce Middle School today. They have their Red Ribbon Week, so we showed the kids how their noses work and had a couple canines go through and find some narcotics, and he absolutely loved it.
I can see he's eager to do something.
Tell them about the breed.
The breed? Well, he's a Belgian Malinois cross.
Oh, I thought he was something else.
So
That's interesting.
he's got German Shepherd in him. All three of our other dogs are Dutch Shepherds.
Interesting.
So they're the cool looking striped dogs. I got the only male. He's my Maligator.
Is there a preference by that breed is preferred for this kind of training than others?
So Belgian Malinois and Dutch Shepherds are some of the most common dogs. German Shepherds you used to see a lot, but due to health issues, the way they were bred throughout history and everything, these guys are just kind of like German Shepherds, souped up a little more. I like
Souped
to
up a
say.
little more.
I'd say a lot more than just a little more.
Yeah.
Yes, that dog is
nuclear
strong.
powered.
He is very strong.
I said earlier when we were planning this, I would volunteer to get in the suit, and the chief dissuaded me from that. He says, you don't understand, I did it for a little while in Highland, we had a K-9 officer, and they did hard, but he says they're stronger now, and I saw he took you down, which I would not have expected, so I'm glad you were counseling me.
I've seen him take a lot.
Yeah, that's probably true. Sorry?
I've seen him take a lot of people in suit down, people who are normally decoy for a lot of the dogs in the area, and he's taking them to the ground. He's a very strong dog from what they say. I'll never take a bite from him, hopefully is the plan, but I'll never be in the suit for him, obviously.
That's right.
That's not a relationship we ever want to do, so I only take the bites for
They want to augment the conversation you've established.
Exactly.
So, one of the reasons we got our dogs from the place that we got our dogs, we've got a good relationship, but their training methods are different. Their belief is to create a stable dog, because you can get any dog to bite, right? It's getting a dog to bite when you say, and getting a dog not to bite when you don't tell them, right? Everything is an obedience command. And a lot of the stuff that they do there is real world based, so it's stress induced, because you always hear the stories of, oh, he was a great dog, and one day he just bit my kid, I don't know why. It's because the dog came across some type of stressor that he never or she never came across, and they acted out. Dogs are better than us in the sense that they don't have feelings like we do. We get mad. They're not emotional creatures. They just do. They just act, right? So if it's a stressor, whether it be, and when we think of stressors, we often think about it as a negative thing, but with animals especially, something that is overstimulating their feel-good senses is stressful. So, oh, you're a good boy. You're getting them all fired up, and he starts getting all worked up, right? It's stressing them. And that's what a lot of times happens. And what place that we got our dogs from, they really focus on creating a stable dog.
You know, Chief, that's the only time I've ever got hit by a dog.
Because something happened that you never
I
saw.
didn't get mad at the dog because it was just a.
Yeah, they don't bite us because they're mad at us.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Your idea is still a little slow. Oh, wow. So that's what they do. They get too excited playing and just overkill.
Well, thank you all for coming. Appreciate that. Hope you learned something about our police department and the operations.
then?
Sure.
Good job.
Chief, you're fine, you did a great job. I'm really proud of you.